Hello and welcome to Amateur Radio Roundtable. This show is about ham radio, amateur radio. So stick around and maybe you might get interested and become a ham if you're not already a ham. We've got a lot of shortwave listeners out there. If you're listening tonight on international shortwave on 7490 kilohertz on WBCQ, we asked that you send us an email and just tell us where you are and how you're hearing the station tonight. We'd love to hear from you. Let's see. Join our Facebook group. We need you to join our Facebook group. We've had a lot of activity going on in that group the past week with our latest flight that's going around the world. We're getting close to the U.S. We're almost about to make lap 1. We'll talk more about that later. But join our Facebook group. It's just called W5KUB. Just do a search for W5KUB and you'll find it, and we'll approve you and you'll be in there. Also, I need everybody, if you will, please hit the subscribe button. For all you guys that maybe you're not listening, I put up a visual there. Hit the subscribe button. And that helps us out a whole lot. If you hit that little button down there, helps us to advertise the show to new people, and YouTube will help spread the word about the show. Something new we're doing, we the show now has been going on for about 7 or 8 years now. We did not really advertise for people to subscribe, and we found out really it's kind of important to have subscribers. So we're starting to push the subscribe now. If you will, please subscribe to our channel there. Hit the like button. Hey, and hit the notification button there, because sometimes we may come on during the week with something special going on, and that will notify you if we do come on live. Alan is giving a presentation tonight at a ham club up in New Jersey. I believe it's in New Jersey. And I think someone may have asked about Katie. Katie is still recovering from some pretty good shoulder surgery. And she says that she's on these funny drugs that make her act kind of crazy. So I don't think she wants to get on here drugged up. So she says she's going to be back with us as soon as she gets to feeling better. So Katie will be back with us. You guys may be wondering what's going on with Raisha. You know, we added Raisha to our show, and she's been with us regularly here. But everybody knows the situation in Russia right now. So we've kind of separated for now until things change. And in fact, she was a little worried to even continue with her own YouTube channel and her Facebook group. You may or may not know, last week the Russian parliament passed 400-1 that basically if you say anything against what the government is doing, you can be in prison for 15 years. Now, I don't know who that one person was out of 401, but he may not be voting anymore. I don't know. I don't understand that. So anyway, so we felt it's best. I think she feels it's best that there's no discussions or anything, because hey, one slip of the tongue, you could be in really big trouble. So that's where we stand on that. Well, let's go out to our remotes tonight and let's see who we got out here. I know we've got Rich with us, and we've got Glen with us. I think Rich is up here first. How you doing, Rich?
Yeah, turn on my mic first.
Yeah.
I'm doing great, and we're having a typical early March weather here in New Jersey. It was 70 degrees Sunday and Monday, and mid-40s today, and it's supposed to snow tomorrow morning. So welcome to March.
Well, I tell you, and Glenn, you and I can talk about this a little later, but we've had 70 weather here this past week, but they're telling us, man, we're going to have a winter storm come in Friday night again. Winter storm with snow. Come on in here and join us, Glenn.
Yeah, I had to run across the other side of the room for a second because when you mentioned new hams, um, the folks that make the phase dock, which is this deal right here, it's a prototyping system where you can just kind of snap and just add the pieces as you need them and put them in whatever location you want so you can build your little prototype system up. Well, the owner of that company went to Orlando and demonstrated this, did a forum or two, and he is now studying to get his license, and I believe he's going to take his test at Raleigh this weekend.
Well, that's good.
Great.
Yeah.
But he's going to be at Dayton with this as well. Now, the stuff on it's mine, but it's just the prototyping platform, and it's really cool to work with. It's become my number one prototyping setup.
Looking at it reminds me of something that is in a story that's going to be in an upcoming issue of CQ, probably April. The Night Kit 101 electronics board.
Oh, gosh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
70.
I had the Radio Shack version of that, and that's what got me started.
Yep. So the designer of that kit, along with a bunch of other radios, has written this article about his adventures at Night Kit. It was a really cool article.
Oh, cool.
Looking forward to it.
that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Well, hey, let's just jump right into it here, Rich. Let's talk about CQ and what's coming up next month.
Alrighty. It's this month already. First of all,
This month. This month.
Yeah, it's March. I want to apologize to our digital edition readers. We are late with the digital edition for the first time, and it's basically has nothing to do with our troubles on the print side. We had some production issues that kind of just mushroomed, and one built on top of the other. But the issue is now finished at Zinio and should be online by the end of this week, maybe even earlier. It depends on how long it takes them to get it all ready to post. So sorry about that, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that never happens again. First time in over 10 years of doing the digital edition that we've run into that. But here's our cover. We can take you to Grass Hut Hamming. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Ham radio is, as we all know, an incredible international hobby. And we try to represent that in CQ. And this issue is really highlighting that. We start out with what you saw on the cover there as a vacation-style de-expedition to Kenya by Swiss Ham. And then we have a Argentine ham living in Brazil writing about soda, Summits on the Air from the Top of the Americas. Interview with a ham who climbed Cerro Aconcagua in Argentina, which is the highest peak in both the Western and the Southern hemispheres, and put his Summits on the Air station on the air, made a bunch of contacts, and made it back down again. We've also got a report on how hams in Brazil helped out following floods and landslides in our emergency communications column. And of course, for our shortwave listeners out there, we have our monthly listening post column. And there, Jerry Dexter tells us about the on again, off again, off again story at All India Radio, which is now reported to be closing 2 of its transmitter sites. We've had, as he points out, is 1 month I bemoan the pending loss of 2 or more of their outlets. The next I hear everything's just hunky-dory. This month it's back into the doom and gloom. So always good to read what Jerry's got. And of course, shortwave listening takes us all over the world. Our awards editor this month takes us to Israel for the Holy Land Award program. And we've got hams from all over the world operating in the CQ Worldwide RIDI DX contest, radio teletype. And we have the results of the 2021 running in this issue. So they're just covering the world this month. with stuff from everywhere, and it's really great in showcasing the worldwide nature of our hobby. We also got 3 reviews. We have staying international. ZS1ML in South Africa wrote our first review on the Chameleon Antenna CHA MPAS2 system. So a really cool thing that it's very versatile. You can arrange it into any number of different setups, whether it's, it's a wire antenna system that you can set up in all sorts of different configurations. And you can do it as an inverted V, you can do it as an inverted L. It has a bunch of the shock corded poles that you can put together in different ways and then run wires in different directions. Very, very cool antenna system. Very versatile, especially for portable work, but it's also useful for fixed station if that's your preference. Our second and third reviews are in Gordo's Short Circuits column by WB6NOA, Gordon West. He reviews the LDG Z100A automatic antenna tuner and Heil Sound's parametric receive audio system equalizer. And he put both of them to test in one more remote location at Quartzsite in Arizona. So continue bouncing around the world here. We've also got, speaking of radios, an obituary for the Big Knob by K1KP. Fascinating history of the birth of radio receivers and transceivers and the big knob for your tuning dial, which often nowadays, as he points out, isn't there anymore. So really, really cool story.
Oh, wow.
Taking us back in time as well, we have for our CQ Classic this month, the either debut or return, depending on how you want to look at it, of Scratchy. This is a column that many of our older readers will remember from 1947 through 1991. Hashafisti Scratchy was a regular in CQ, just skewering all sorts of foibles and bad on-air habits and all sorts of stuff. It's a wonderful legacy of CQ, but his return, even though this is his first column in CQ, because he had appeared previously in Radio Magazine, which was CQ's predecessor back in the early part of the 1940s and the 30s. I think he started out in R9 Magazine, which also was a predecessor of CQ. Moving into a little more serious stuff in our Learning Curve column this month, KO0Z talks about storm spotting and the fact that we need to keep our eyes to the sky any time of the year. And of course, spring is prime time for things like tornadoes and stuff like that. We've got a couple of columns dedicated to building things in our Ham Notebook column. KH6WZ writes about what's on his workbench and the different projects he's working on. And kit building editor Joe Eisenberg, K0NEB, has a column titled Things That Really Suck. Solder, that is. About different desoldering tools. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I reference that in my editorial, which is titled When Things Don't Work, and about troubleshooting and stuff like that. And I've got to get my hands on a few more of the tools that Joe writes about. In our contesting column, N3QE offers some contest strategies for the WPX contests. We have the single sideband weekend coming up at the end of this month, CW weekend in late May. So he's got some strategies for maximizing your score if you want to get in and have fun in those contests. In our DX column, we do a profile of the Southwest Ohio DX Association. And this club is the sponsor of the DX dinner at Dayton every year, and also has been kind enough over the last many years to provide a forum for us to make our CQ DX Hall of Fame inductions each year. So it's nice to give them a little profile and talk about their history and the things that they do. On the bands, we're not only cover the world, but we cover the spectrum from low frequencies to VHF. In our MFLF column, we've got some early season notable DX in 630 and 2200 meters. In our Ham Radio Explorer column, KZT writes about HF activities for technician class licensees. Speaking of HF, our propagation column is about the magic of shortwave. And finally, in our VHF plus column, we have key propagation types for 6 meters. We're just approaching spring now, which is kind of a lull for 6 meter activity, except you might be getting some good tropo. But we start ramping up sporadic E as we move toward the summertime. But he's got a variety of different propagation modes that can be very helpful in working long distances on 6 meters. It is called the Magic Band for a reason, that's for sure. So that's a little bit of what's coming up now in the March issue. And we, again, should be online for our digital subscribers by the end of this week. And we sure hope that we're going to be able to get the print issues moving again very soon. This will be out in print as well. And that's where we're at.
All right. Well, hey, adjust the screen a little here. I was, you were talking about the magic of shortwave. Seems like shortwave's coming back, especially with what's going on over in Europe now. That's one of the ways that the BBC and others are trying to get word into the country by shortwave. And, it still has a great use today.
Yep. The BBC restored its European service, which it had ended about 15 years ago, I think. And they've restored their European service so they could reach people in Ukraine and parts of Russia that don't have access to the internet to be listening to streaming. So that's, I'm glad they remembered that shortwave is still out there and that radio still works. And can't really be regulated at borders. Well,
I guess the only way to really stop it is jamming, but that doesn't always work. And it is, even though it's old technology, man, it's hopefully it's there to do a good job. So I need to try to tune in and listen to some of that. It'd be interesting to see what the BBC, is sending to those people.
Yeah.
It appears
I think most of their, I think almost everything that they're doing is in English. So if you do tune it in, you'll be able to understand it.
Yeah. Well, the Russian people, even if that shortwave didn't work, the Russian people have to figure something is going really badly wrong, I would think, because with they've cut off Facebook. Can you imagine what would happen if we cut off Facebook in the United States? I mean, people would go crazy. Man, they would go crazy. They couldn't take it. They live with it.
Yep.
And
I'd get more stuff done. Turn it off.
But they've got to be thinking something bad is wrong here. We don't have Twitter. We don't have Facebook. I don't even think they can go to an ATM hardly anymore. MasterCard, Visa, everybody's pulled out.
Yeah.
I think the ruble's gone from 100 down to 1. I think I heard that. I don't know. It's
something like that.
It's got to be bad for them. But of course, the government is cracking down on them on just what they're supposed to hear. And of course, they can't talk bad about it or say anything against it there. But I think the word's going to get to them. I think most of the people are going to get to it. And what I heard one of the Russian people say today that was interviewed was, people in the big cities, Moscow, St. Petersburg, places like that, they have had access to the internet and they kind of know what's going on. But you got so many people in Russia that are out in the out in the boondocks, I guess, that don't have internet.
Yeah.
They don't know. They might get one local TV station. I don't know. They don't really know what's going on. So it's going to take a while, I think, for everybody to get the word out and understand what's going on there.
For people who are interested in trying to tune in those BBC broadcasts, I've got the frequencies here.
Yeah, let's have them.
5875 and 15735.
Okay.
And it's 4 hours each day on each of those frequencies, I think. And it's BBC World Service News in English. So
Well, I'm definitely going to take a listen for
that. I would think that the 15735 frequency should be able to be picked up here in North America pretty well. I don't know about the 5800.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very good. Well, hey, Rich, thanks so much for telling us about all those things, what's going on. And, hey, let me say this about the big knob. Most of the things I've got still has the big knob on it. I mean, they're getting complicated, and they're getting computerized.
That's how I judge radios.
They're getting computerized, and all those knobs are going away, but they all still had the one big knob. And, Riley Hollingsworth, that's on with us, in fact, Riley has asked me the other day, when can I come back on? I said anytime, but I think he's so busy he's hard to catch. But Riley gives a talk. He's got a presentation where he talks about the big knob, and I think it's if you hear something on there you don't like, man, turn the big knob. Go to another frequency. But I've got a few.
I remember when I was a kid and first got into ham radio, my friends and I would go down to Harrison Radio in New York City once a year, and we would judge the price of a radio by the number of knobs it had and the number of dials. More knobs and dials, the less we could afford it.
Well, I've got some little shortwave receivers, Garmin and different ones, and I think it's Garmin. And maybe the big knob's not there. You got the push button and you go up and down and whatever. And I hate that. Man, I hate it. Oh, man.
No. Got to have the knob, and it's got to be one of the later model ones now. I mean, I grew up with the knobs, but the balance knobs that you spin, and it just keeps spinning with the flywheel.
Yeah, it got that flywheel on it. You just you give it a big old spin like that. Yeah. In fact, I do that on my ICOM stuff here today. They got a nice heavy flywheel in there, man, and I could spin that sucker. But I'm wondering, is it going to tear up? Should I really be doing this, man? Okay.
At least you don't have dial cords behind it anymore.
Yeah,
oh, gosh.
And I grew up in the '60s, and people have heard me tell the story. My uncle was the TV repairman for about 2 counties, and I used to help him a lot. Used to work on the old radios, tube radios and stuff. And I know what you're talking about the dial cord. Got the dial cord, and it had a little spring right there on the wheel, and you had to put that dial cord on just right, man, or it wouldn't tune right.
Yep, and if you had to change the dial cord, you will never play the piano again.
Yeah.
That and the IBM Selectric shift and rotate tapes, that'll send you into the funny farm real quick.
All right. Well, again, hey, Rich, thank you so much for being with us, man. We'll see you again soon. We'll see you next month.
Yeah, it'll be just a couple weeks till the end of this month. What are we, 29th, I think.
Or come on anytime and just join us, man, for just some ham radio fun. All right.
Very good.
All right.
Enjoy,
well, hey,
everybody.
we had Bill join us a few minutes ago. How you doing, Bill? You there, Bill? Bill, he's there. But it's kind of dark. He must not be listening.
His mic is muted and his camera's off.
Yeah, that means he went to get a snack.
He's usually in the dark most of the time anyway. So, okay. Well, Bill will be back with us here in a few minutes.
Hey, I like being kept in the dark sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Well, very good. All right. I'll tell you what. While we're waiting on Bill to come back, let's do this real quick, man. We'll be right back. Didn't get everything. Time to spice up your ham shack with ICOM's new ID52A handheld. This radio is perfect for staying in or venturing out. The ID52A is now shipping. ICOM's newest handheld amateur radio is a VHF-UHF dual bander with D-Star and FM dual mode functions. This radio supports conventional FM communications and D-Star simplex and worldwide calls over the D-Star Internet Gateway. The ID52A is the first handheld amateur radio with a full-color 2.3-inch waterfall display and the ability to send photos over D-Star with a connected Android phone. Features include a wideband receiver with guaranteed range of 144 through 148 and 440 through 450 megahertz. It has an integrated GPS receiver, including grid square location. It also has a micro USB for data transfer, programming, and charging, and it's IPX7 waterproof. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
LDG Electronics provides state-of-the-art antenna tuners for every amateur need. From QRP to QRO, fixed stations, portable and remote, an LDG tuner will match your radio to your antenna using our lightning-fast, proprietary tuning algorithms. LDG is a family-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing innovative, quality products to the amateur market. All LDG products carry a full 2-year warranty that is fully transferable. Support is only a phone call or email away. We're always here to help you. Visit us on the web at ldgelectronics.com.
Hey, let's see if Bill's back. Bill, you there? You're in the dark, Bill.
In the dark and muted. I saw him. He was on the phone. And then
oh, was he? He's probably busy. We'll pick him up there in just a few minutes here. Well, Glenn, tell us, what have you got going? Well, first of all, let's talk about the most important thing, Glenn.
What's that?
We've got a winter storm coming in here Friday night.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Man, it's been in the 70s here, 70 degrees. I thought we're doing pretty good. I was kind of cold in the house. I'd walk outside to get warm. But, man, now, a winter storm Friday night.
This weekend, I was out mowing the lawn and getting everything ready, cleaned up from the last ice storm, got all the debris out, and fortunately, most of the pine trees fell on my neighbor's yard, which is fine because they're his trees. But so I only had, a couple limbs to clean up. But it was 80 degrees out there this weekend, and I had already taken all my coats and stuff, out of the car. And this morning I had to go grab one to get back into the car because it was like 40 degrees. And then, they said snow on Friday in the 20s, and I'm like, wait a minute, pick one or the other, but not both in the same week.
Well, I tell you, I'm still counting on ice storm, man. I have my generator, since I had the new big generator installed. Now, it's only been on 4 times, but it comes on at noon on Saturday just to test itself. So that's the only time the generator has run, 4 times on Saturday, man. And it's kind of neat.
I turned off my heater the other day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to need this anymore. It's air conditioner. I actually had the air conditioner running Sunday night.
Yeah.
And now the heater's running again, and I'm like, this is just absolutely insane.
All right. Well, okay. Now we can get over to the secondary stuff, man. What do you got going there? You got any book stuff going? You got any projects going? What's happening in your life?
Yes and yes. I have been going back and forth with ARRL and their new editor, Bob Lee, and Becky Schoenfeld, who's their managing editor. She's replaced Steve Ford because he retired. And had a good talk with Bob down in Orlando and met with Dave Minster down there, and we had some good talks. And we came up with an idea for the next book. The target is to get it out around Christmas of this year, which is going to be a tight time frame, but I live for deadlines, I guess. We have settled on the next Arduino book is going to actually take the best projects from the first 3 books, and I'm going to update them and finish them out the way I talked about in the book. These are going to be the gold-plated versions of the projects. So all of the popular projects are going to be updated and printed in this book. So basically, it's going to be called the Best of Arduino for Ham Radio. And we're going to throw in about 4 or 5 new projects as well.
Well, maybe if you use the best of, that'll save you some work. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can pull there and put in the other book, right?
Yeah, but I'm also talking about updating every project.
Yeah.
You know, because in the projects, I always left something, if I was going to finish this out, I'd have it do this, this, and this.
I
and
got
I
you.
left that as an exercise for you, the builder to teach yourself with. And so this time I'm going to finish these projects out the way I would have finished them out. And I'm also going to be doing things like I'm working on finishing that MFJ beacon monitor. There's a single chip sideband CW receiver that's out there. And so I'm going to put one of those together and do the code and stuff for that. So there's going to be 5 or 6 new projects. And I don't have the exact number because I sent them to ARRL and just sent a list that said, trim, cut, hack, whack, whatever you want to do with these. And I got the email back today that said, list is fine, go for it. So we're talking probably 20 or 30 projects in that book. It's going to be.
Oh, man.
It is
Well,
literally my favorite projects out of the whole thing.
You're going to be busy again. I was hoping you would have a lot of free time because I was going to tie you up on some tracker projects.
Well, I actually do want to put a tracker in the book.
Yeah.
I want to make that one of the new book projects, is to bring in the tracker and talk about the Pico balloon aspect of it.
Well, I want to be able to deliver a letter over a certain country. So what I want you to do is, we got to get a little Arduino thing that will release like a little envelope. And we got to fix the code where in its geofence, when it gets in its code, it's going to drop this letter. And we're going to be the first to have Pico mail delivery. But I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need your help to do that.
That's not going to be an issue. The issue is going to be what the message material is going to be, because if it's paper, it'll get ruined.
Why? Why will it get ruined?
Well, the moisture and the cold and the wind.
There's really no moisture up there, and
you're going to want some lamination.
Yeah, we might could do that. We could laminate it, or maybe put it in some real 1 mil thick, some 1 mil thick stuff like this or something,
Yeah.
And so see what we can do. We can make a nice little letter up, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to pinpoint a city. I think it'd be easy for us. There's certain countries I think I can easily hit. If I don't hit them the first time around, I think I can get them the second time around. So we should. I think we can deliver a letter to a country. I really think we can. And nobody else has done it, and this show is known for doing first. Nobody else has done it. I want to be the first to deliver a letter by Pico balloon.
Actually, delivery system would be very simple.
Yeah.
You can use one of those micro servos that it's actually a spiral screw type thread. So it's a vertical servo, not the swing servo, but it's the vertical servo. Have that go through a little peg in a hole on laminated material that holds it in, and then when you want to release it, just screw it back out. It drops. So
well, you know what? I've got an idea here, Glen. I've got an idea. No, I didn't get the right thing. I didn't get the right thing yet. I've got some of my balloon friends out in Oregon sent me something here this year, and I think we've talked about it. And they sent me a little board that is a timer board, and it's a little blasting cap that hooks to it. And you got a little nylon, or not a nylon, you got a little monofilament line, like fishing line, that goes through this blasting cap. And at a certain altitude, it'll blast and cut that fishing line, and the little parachute will come down. So I'm thinking we could use this little blasting cap that's set off by 5 volts, whatever, and we'll keep it further away from the hydrogen. We'll just put it down about 20 feet below, and we can use that little blasting cap. You can help me with the programming, and let's say for a test, we nearly always go over to Japan. So as a test, we'll make our first letter to Japan, and we can code that up, and when we get over to Japan, we drop the letter.
Yeah, there's just one little problem with this.
No parachute now. I got to keep weight down. No parachuting. We just drop the letter.
Over and over and over in my head.
Yeah.
Here we are several hundred years from now. People are looking back and saying, and that's how World War III started. Blasting cap landed in this country and it exploded on the ground.
Well, it's a small little bitty blasting cap.
That's how World War III started.
Yeah, this little thing's about the size of a pencil eraser on a number 2 pencil. That in the metal.
That is a concern, though. What if that thing prematurely fails and lands in Georgia?
Oh, and it doesn't drop. Well, okay. Here's what we do. We put some extra code in there where if it falls below a certain altitude, it ignites.
Yeah, but what if that fails?
Well,
what if you have a catastrophic battery failure?
Man, you're making it really, really tough for us here.
You're making it too hard. If you do it with
it's got to be easy. Okay. All right. So let's don't use the blasting cap. I just thought that'd be simple. You just send a little voltage to it, and it burns the filament string in half, and it drops the letter. We won't use a blasting cap. We'll use what else you got? It's not a servo, but what do you got? We'll open up. What do you got? What we got?
I use nichrome wire, Tom.
A what?
I use nichrome wire. Just have your flight line going through 2 eye bolts to keep it tight and tie knots on each end, and then wrap nichrome wire around the flight line, and
there we go.
Command up above the parachute, burns through it, and knocks it, and it burns right through the line.
There we go. There we go. Now, I would expect Glenn to say, well, what if that thing gets down on the ground, comes on, and starts a forest fire?
It is what it is. But see, now we lost Bill. We
lost Bill. He didn't even pop in here he's coming back.
No, he dropped his little gem on us and then ran.
Are you back, Bill?
He's coming back. But yeah,
there he is. Yeah, Bill. The only thing about that we've been discussing it. What if that nichrome wire causes a fire down when it gets in some dead grass? We can't have that.
I haven't had any issues with it. It only lasts until the battery depletes, or you can put it on a timer that only burns for 10 seconds, and that's not going to cause a fire.
Yeah, we'll be on solar. We'll be on solar, and every day it might start a fire, man, until somebody finds this thing. We're gonna have, but what, Bill? Did you hear you heard our deal there? We want to be the first Pico balloon mail delivery service, and
I have thought about that many times.
Get a patent. Get a patent on it.
Drop off a business card, and wherever I want to drop it.
Yeah.
But you could do it. There are some servos that my friend operates these little tiny 3-gram airplanes. It's got a radio control in it. It's got a motor and a battery, and it weighs 3 grams, the whole airplane. And it's indoor flying. And the servo on there weighs 1 gram.
Yeah.
Well, I need to do that.
Use that servo to release a catch pin and drop something off. And it's 1 gram. I don't know how much current it draws, but if you have super caps on it, that'd be enough probably to make it move enough to drop something.
Yeah, if it's that small, it can't use much power there.
And you could do multiple drops when the Japanese sent those balloon bombs from from in World War II, they had bags of ballast that
Yeah.
when it dropped below a certain altitude, it would
Drop the ballast.
It would release a big bag of sand. So
Yep.
you could drop multiple cards or little paper airplanes that are brightly colored and see if you get any response. Drop them over the Ukraine and North Korea and all kinds of places.
I know it's illegal to transmit over North Korea, but I don't guess it's illegal to drop a letter over North Korea, is it? I mean, maybe
I tell you what, you do it and don't put my call sign anywhere near it.
yeah.
And let us know. And in the meantime, we'll be putting ads out for a new host of the show.
All right. Well, very good. Okay. So, hey, Glenn, was there anything else there? You talking about your book? Was there anything else you wanted to talk about tonight?
Yeah, a couple things.
Okay.
This weekend is the QSO Today online expo. And, of course, I'm doing an Arduino forum there. There's going to be some really good I think they said there's like 60-something seminars that are going to be available online. And they're also recording, so you can play and catch any ones that you miss or had a time conflict with. And it's only $10 to get a ticket to go there. And so they're going to have a lot of the vendors there as well. And let's see, one of the other things that I'm working on is I've decided it's time to do a new style of Arduino forum. And rather than do more of the introduction to the Arduino, which I'm still going to be doing, but somebody suggested, and I really like the idea of doing the anatomy of a Arduino microcontroller project, from the concept to what do I want to do, how do I figure out what I even want to do. So the creative process, and then the design process, the development process, the prototyping process. I'm going to break all of that down into a forum session, and at the same time I'm going to break it out into segments that we can do here. Spend 1 week on the development process. How do you figure out what parts to use, and how do you troubleshoot, how do you prototype. So that's going to be intermixed with all of this next book material. Is I'm going to be putting together that as well.
And a very good thing to have in that forum is, where do you get the parts in this day and age?
Yeah, believe it or not, I have not had any problems getting parts. I just ordered some new lightning detectors, and they came right in.
How about the microcontrollers?
I'm still able to get the Uno, but they're about $6.
Right.
Now if I wanted the chips, yeah, wish me luck.
Well, you can still get them from China. I don't know about the quality. I got a few in the other day that I had ordered. It might take 8 weeks to get them, but they're out there. A little bit more expensive.
They're about $6 a piece from China, but they're probably, are they in the strips, Tom, or are they just loose in a bag?
They're loose in a bag, so you won't be able. You can't use them.
They're probably leftovers from an assembly house.
Yeah.
Those are floor sweepings, but they're good, but they're not good when you're doing
well, maybe you can get some of those blanks and you can fill it up, like a cartridge, put the loose chips in the strip, Maybe you can.
There you go.
Maybe you can load them up, if you have to. Ooh, hey, I think things are going to get worse, guys. Let me tell you, things are going to get worse. If we don't think they're bad now, things are going to probably be worse in next month and 2 months. We ain't seen nothing yet. Let's see. All right, so Glenn, that sounds good. Go ahead, Bill.
The ants are doing good. The ants are doing great. They did a little detour through the Hawaiian Islands last night to have a little luau.
Yeah, I was going to wonder how they managed to get away with that.
Well, the ants, I tell you, and this was not authorized. It was not authorized at all. I wondered why there was such a delay in that part of the world. But, after a couple hours, the thing started reporting back in. I think they turned the radio off, went radio silent, and I think they somehow figured out how to get down and back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely, had a
little shore leave there.
little shore leave of their own there. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like it here.
But hey, this is the first one that's made it that far around in a long, long time. I'm really impressed with that little balloon you're using.
Yeah, this is a neat little balloon here, and Bill has ordered some. Bill, I got a couple of the other ones like you just ordered in, the little bit cheaper ones. I think they're going to be delivered tomorrow. But the neat thing about this little balloon is it blows up round. It's not kind of pancakey like all the other stuff that has been out there that we fly. It's like 4 gore. It's got like 4 sections, and when that thing fills up, it comes into a circle. So, man, it carries a whole lot more gas than a flat type balloon. And this balloon is not a great big balloon. It's about 36 inches, not even that, 32 inches across, and weighs about 47 grams. And it's I measured the cubic foot capacity or cubic meter capacity, and it looks like you're about 210 liters. That's 0.21 cubic meters. An SBS balloon carries about 0.5 cubic meters. This one's carrying 0.21 cubic meters, and it's flying practically the same height. And Bill, I was impressed with it. It feels tough. It feels strong. It was easy to launch.
They're well made.
Yeah,
well made. And this is the little brother to it. Remember those ones that we got in that were 22 inches in diameter? And I inflated this 2 weeks ago, and it's about 0.4 of a gram. Since that time, it looks just the same as when I inflated it. It's really phenomenal.
Well, people are not seeing it, Bill. I think your internet is so slow that you're not switching to video when you're showing it. I can see it, but it's not, well. What's going on here? No, wait, that's my fault. There we go.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
You're blaming somebody
there
else.
you go.
He is switching now. He. Show us that again, Bill. So,
okay, this is
Yeah.
the little brother to that. This is about 20 inches in diameter, and I inflated it 2 weeks ago, and it hasn't lost more than a few tenths of a gram of lift. It's really done a great job. But this one's not quite big enough to fly anything. But you could actually. This could take your 8-gram payload up to about 20,000 feet. So
that's one of the.
These are only about $5 a piece.
Yeah, that's the other one.
These are ones we can get for $5 that claim to be 32 inches, but in reality they're 22.
Yeah, that was a disappointment
But
there.
it's
for sure.
you see it's spherical. You
Yep.
see it's got 4 seams on it, and it's spherical,
Yeah.
just like the ones you are flying, the bigger version of this.
Well, I know of only three of these balloons like we're flying today. There's 3 in the air right now. Our friend in Sweden is flying 2 of them, and I don't know how to classify it. 3 out of 3 are up and flying and going around the world. 100% success on them. So I think they're going to be a good balloon, man. I really think they are. Hey, I got a little video here. I'll let me put. I got about it's a minute and 20 seconds. Show you the launch. We launched Monday. We launched 2 balloons. We launched a 108, which is going around the world now, and we launched 109. And 109 made it again about Mississippi or somewhere and went down. I don't know what happened to him, but You're going to see the two balloons here. So here we go. All right, we're getting ready to launch dual launch today, W5KB 108 and 109. And we got them both laid out here. There's 108. And behind me, if I don't step on it,
what type of balloon was 109?
It's just it's a clear,
All right, are
36-inch.
we ready to go? I guess
Chinese balloon.
let her rip.
Okay, so it was a new balloon type as well.
Oh, it pulled it out.
Well,
of
that's
okay.
what people have been flying.
It's right in the sun.
I can't see a thing.
Look, I'm letting it out right here. Look.
They were going right in the sun here.
Okay. So that was man, it's going right into the sun, so we're not going to get any video on this for sure. All right, so Ed, I guess we're ready. I can't even see the other one. Where are you? I've lost you.
All right.
I couldn't even see him in my
Ready
camera.
to go.
The sun was so bright.
Let it go. This is number 109. Here we go. It's going up. I'm feeding it up, Ed. There it is.
All right.
I can't tell if I'm getting any video or not because I'm in the sun.
We need to get you one of those NASA cameras, that they use, the super telephoto that they use on the launch.
Yeah. So they both went right into the sun. We almost couldn't see them here. I think I had the arrow pointing. I don't know if you saw that toward the end of the video there, but as 109 was going up, if you look closely, you could see 108 there in the sun going up there. So that was fun launching them. Glenn, you asked about what was the other balloon, the 109. It's the standard, typical 36-inch clear Chinese balloon that everybody flies, and it typically flies in the what, Bill? Maybe in the 20,000s, maybe low 30. I think Bill's gone.
It's 20,000, 26,000 feet, probably.
So it flies fairly. It flies fairly low, and those can make it around the world. There's people that have made it around the world 1 or 2 or 3 times with one of those, but I have found typically they don't last. It's really difficult to get one around the world. The one we launched, the silver one there that we launched at 108, even though it's smaller in diameter, 32 inches, it holds probably 30% or more gas than that 36-inch clear one held, just because of the fact that it will blow up round instead of kind of pancakey, kind of flat. So that's where we get our altitude. So I'm very happy with the 109. We're flying, around 140 to 141,000 feet, which is perfect for that balloon, and we're real happy with it. I think hopefully tomorrow we will. I think tomorrow when it wakes up, it should be right over Mexico, maybe. And then HabHub is saying another 10 hours it's going to be over us here in Memphis, but I don't know if it can make it that fast or not. But we could make it. It's been up 9 days. We've gone 22,400 miles in 8 days and 9 hours, and speeds are kind of averaging, anywhere from maybe 100 miles an hour to maybe I've seen 150. We did see a report one time of 200, I think, and then I did see a report one time of 300 miles per hour, but that had to be a mistake. I don't think we did 300 miles per hour, but there's definitely some good jet stream.
I've heard that Louis has a lead foot, so it might have happened.
It may be, but if these guys had not stopped off in Hawaii, we'd have been much further ahead of the game. We could have set a new record, but no, they had to stop.
I'm impressed that the thing's really holding its altitude well.
Yeah, it has not varied hardly any. I mean, atmospheric pressure and stuff's going to change the float a little bit. Also, the speed of the wind will change the float of the balloon. But Bill's the expert here. Bill, what do you think? You think we've lost any or much hydrogen? I mean, it's staying almost.
Probably not. I have my internet loaded and we got storms coming through. So I think what happened is the lift I've seen was around 11,600 meters over near Japan. But there was a big flow there, and so that's why they're flying low, following the pressure gradient beautifully. And I don't think it's losing anything.
I feel the same way. I think it is very possible that it hadn't lost any. And I mean, this thing can stay up for months. I don't know. I feel good about it. Is there any? I'm supposed to knock on wood when I say that, but I feel good about this. And you know, Glenn, when I first opened it up, and I was a little, of course, it's flimsy, just like any of the others. Really, it's probably 1 mil thick, and I thought this thing's pretty delicate. But I blew it up to and tested it up to 0.39 psi, which is probably 1.39. That's probably more than 2 times the pressure that it's going to have at altitude up there. So I didn't want to take it much higher and blow it up because it's the only one I had got. We wanted to test this one. But it'd be interesting to see where it actually blows up, But I don't know. Maybe we don't have to know that.
Yeah, I mean, it just works. I mean, I saw where you posted the other day also that SBS has launched one.
Well, they've got 2 up. And, Bill, I don't know if you're following the K6 RPT 11 and 12. It looks like they're both stopped. One near the west coast of Africa, and one of them actually went to Japan, but it's showing back in China now. Have you followed those, Bill?
Bill dropped off.
Oh, he did?
I think his internet really.
Oh, man, okay.
Not
So I don't know what's going on. The SBS balloon was flying right beside our side as we reached Africa, but they're APRS only. And because they're APRS only, there's no APRS really across Africa or the Middle East. So we flew for 5 days, getting reports every 10 minutes, and their balloon was APRS, so it was in the dark.
Yeah.
And it finally, after about 5 or 6 days, it finally popped up in China. It was behind us. I think we were over Japan. It popped up in China. But it's not making any progress. It's kind of like it's stuck in China. I don't know what's going on. Oh, well. All right.
Demon Child is returned.
Yeah. Hey, I got a little thing here I want to show you.
What you got?
Well, I built up several power supplies. One of my most useful pieces of equipment I have on my workbench is a little variable power supply that I built up, and it's variable. It's variable from about 3 volts up to about 18 volts. Just turn a little potentiometer and you can change the voltage. And man, I have used that thing for everything: testing trackers, testing lights, testing radio, anything and everything. But I picked one of these up off the internet, off eBay the other day. It's gonna be hard to see this and know exactly what it is, but this is a buck. Let's see. This is a
Buck converter?
Well, it's both buck and what's the other term I'm looking for?
I could have told you if you hadn't asked.
Buck boost. It's a buck boost. So you can put any voltage in this thing. You can put any voltage in here from like 3 or 4 volts. Let me get Bill back in here. All right. So you can put any voltage in here from about 3 to 30 volts, and it's kind of neat. It's got a display on it and a little. It's probably got an Arduino in it. It's got the little knob. You press the button. It's the the encoder. You press the button and it turns it on, and you can actually look at the current. You can look at the current draw. You can turn a little knob. You can change the voltage up and down, like in hundredths of a volt. And it's a buck boost. In other words, if I put this on a 12-volt supply, I could actually turn it down to like 0.5 volts. Or I could go all the way up to 30 volts, even if it was on a 12-volt supply. So it's buck boost. It'll take it either way. And I think it's supposed to be good. I think it's supposed to be good for 10 amps. Of course, I don't want to, most of all my applications are very low current, but I'm going to take a power supply. I got an old computer power supply. I may take me an old computer power supply, which, it's got 3 volts, 5 volts, 12 volts on it, and just hook it to this thing, boost device. And, I'll probably put 12 volts into it. And again, you'll be able to turn it down to a half volt, or you can turn it all the way up to 30 or 31 volts. So it's pretty,
Where'd you get that?
pretty neat. I just ordered it off of eBay. It's a real simple little buck boost device. You can see it's got a heat sink on the back, and it's made to snap in. So you cut a hole in your little chassis or cabinet, and it just snaps. It's got little you can see the snaps. It just snaps right in a hole, and it's just again, it's just something to play with, and I thought I'd give it a try. There's all kinds of gizmos like this out there. There's thousands of things like this out there to play with.
Actually, on my Explorer from Dr. Arduino, I've got a little buck boost converter right there on the board.
That's cool.
So I can get voltages that I need.
Yeah.
Particularly the 3.3 volt.
Been having internet connections this evening. My DSL is going on and off every few minutes, and my Verizon is flaking out, and I've got thunderstorms coming through. But I tried to get Starlink, and they said it'd be 1 year before I get a terminal from Starlink.
Oh man.
And then I noticed on the news that there were a whole cargo container full airship there to Ukraine, and I figured that's where they're going. That's why I can't get a terminal until 2023. He sent them all to the Ukraine.
Yeah, I saw that where he's offering that to the Ukraine, and I'm thinking, okay, Starlink, that'd be a great internet for them. But I thought, don't you have to have a little terminal at the bottom that that connects to the satellite? And
that's what they sent. And, sent them all the terminals. That's why we can't get them here.
Well, it may be, yeah.
Before I can get one.
Yeah. Now, are there some satellites up there right now that are on Wi-Fi frequencies that you can access just with an antenna? Isn't there some?
Well, the Google Loon balloons were kind of like that. They had a specialized ground station, but it was operating on a similar principle. But their coverage area wasn't that wide, and of course they no longer are really doing that anymore. So Starlink is LEO satellites.
Yeah.
The big advantage to the Starlink is that your latency time is going to be very low because they're low Earth orbiting satellites, whereas the other geostationary satellite services for internet, you can have up to a 1,000 millisecond latency, and
well, those exceed others. I think they're in a geostationary orbit out there. I think, aren't they? So they're 22,000 miles out. So you're going to have 250 millisecond delay going up and back and up and back. That's a second right there, man. But the LEO satellites, what's the altitude in? Aren't they around 200, 300, maybe 400 at the most?
They're probably around, they start off in a low parking orbit and check them out, then they put them up a little higher orbit, but they're probably just 300, 400 miles up, and the latency times are very low as a result.
Right.
But they have to put up a whole bunch of them, which they're doing. They lost 40 of them during the last solar storm, and they had them just launched in the parking orbit, and they got knocked out of orbit when the solar storm hit the atmosphere. It increases the height of the atmosphere and knocked them out. They lost 40 of them.
Well, I would like to try one myself. But
Well, I would too, but
but I think the rate for that's going to be about $100 a month. But I guess that's not bad.
It was $99 a month, 500 and some for the ground station.
Oh yeah.
One-time fee, and they said it was unlimited and very high speed. Now, if you want the commercial version, they said you might be able to get that by June, but the ground station costs $2,500. But they offered some very, comparable to cable speeds.
Yeah.
200 megabits, and so.
Yeah.
So it's
well,
they get a lot of subscribers if they can handle the bandwidth.
I'm fairly happy. Mine's not symmetric here. I get 450 down and 23 up.
I get 1.5 down and 0.2 up.
Well,
And I was just going to complain about mine. I'm in Mississippi, and I've got 5 up and 30 down.
Well,
You got me beat hands down.
5 up and 30 down. That's pretty good. Over in the mountains of North Carolina, I think we've got 5 down and 768 up over there. Can't get anything any better over there.
With my Verizon modem.
Yeah.
If I hook up through the Verizon network, that's what I get, Glenn. But it's flaking out tonight. I can't hook to the internet through it for some reason. So maybe a cell tower got hit by lightning or something.
Yeah. Now on the
We have a lot of
Starlink,
lightning going on right now.
are they using a mesh to talk to all the Starlinks in between each other, or are they pretty much just individual units?
I think they're all meshed together up there.
I think they're meshed.
Yeah.
Kind of like Iridium. What Iridium does, when you use an Iridium modem through the Iridium satellite network, let's say your Iridium receiver is in Siberia, and you're here, you send an email to their ground station in America, it sends it up and bounces through the network and then finds your unit on the other side of the world. And I think the maximum delay time was about 18 seconds. That's pretty good.
Mm.
Send a command via email to the server, and then it ends up being received by the receiver 18 seconds later.
Yeah.
I actually launched a paper airplane from 60 or 70,000 feet on a balloon by sending an email. It went to their ground station for Iridium, uplinked it, was received on my balloon by the receiver, which activated a servo on a little Arduino and dropped the paper airplane. It was cooler and really cool.
There you go.
Very cool. Yeah, the reason I ask is I just bought me a mesh system for the house here, and that's pretty impressive the way that works. But now I have high speed upstairs as well as downstairs.
All right, I just posted the Zoom link if people would like to join us. It's time now to move on to the show after the show. Is that right? No, this is after the show. That's what it is.
After the show.
This is the after the show coming up right now, folks. You've been watching Amateur Radio Roundtable, the show about ham radio, amateur radio. And if you're listening out there on WBCQ, please send us an email to Tom at W5KUB.com. Tell us where you are. Give us a signal report. And I would like to just ask everyone again out there, hit that subscribe button right there. You can see that subscribe. You see my arrow flashing? You should be able to hit that subscribe button. That'll greatly help us out to advertise our channel on YouTube. So let's see. Well, I posted the link. Where's everybody? I don't see anybody. Maybe they didn't know what it was. Let me post it again.
They didn't. They just saw this link, and we've been taught not to click links.
Maybe they don't want to talk to us tonight. But this is the After the Show Amateur Radio Roundtable's second hour. After the show, right there, bringing ham radio to you. Come on. Oh, we got somebody here. Teresa's calling. Teresa's in here.
You were talking, Tom, about your voltage project. I've got one over on my bench here that I've started. It's got a 48 volt power supply in it. I'm rebuilding my pool cleaner controller that uses 48 volts on the motors. And I'm going to have that Arduino powered to manage my pool cleaning.
That's good. All right. We got Russ with us. We got Teresa with us. How you doing, Teresa?
Oh, doing fairly decent. How about you, Tom?
Doing pretty good. How's the weather down in Texas, Miss Weather Girl there? We're supposed to get a winter storm hits here Friday night, and it's coming from Texas. You should know about it, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I haven't seen what it's supposed to do over there yet. I've been a little preoccupied watching what it's supposed to do to us, but yeah, it's going to be fun and interesting for a little while.
Well, maybe I'll get to try my generator out. Maybe
that's all he's talked about. He wants
maybe it'll be that
the
bad.
Generator out. The whole town suffers, but Tom gets.
That's right, man. Why can't we have an ice storm when this thing comes through here? That's what I want to know. I told you guys. I told you when I put this expensive generator in. I said we'll probably never have an outage again.
You will never have another outage as long as we live.
We'll never have another outage, but I guess that's good. That the whole city should thank me for doing that. We put the generator in; it never has to turn on, and the whole city keeps power. So,
It's like putting the snow shovel at the back door so it don't snow.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Well, we're gonna get snow. They're saying snow Friday night, so it's coming, and it's gonna.
That stuff y'all got there within the past 3 hours is going to be here on Friday, and it's going to cause havoc into Saturday.
Well, it's going to get tough here Friday night. They're predicting up to maybe an inch. I mean, that is going to be a disaster, isn't it, Glenn?
Is that what they're saying? An inch?
They're backed it down a little bit, but it was an inch. Yeah.
Well, see, I remember 30 years ago that it started out the week before. Hey, we're going to get an inch of snow next week.
I think I remember this.
And 2 days later, we're going to get 2 to 4 inches of snow next week. And then 2 days before, we're going to get 6 inches of snow. All right. Then the day of, literally, it was, oh my God, we're going to get 12 inches of click. There went my power. And you look out the window.
I think when I remember when I was really young, I think we got about 30 inches one winter, at one time. I never saw so much snow.
We had a 3-foot drift outside of my apartment. I was in a second-story apartment back then, and I was able to look out to the south, and it would look like, bombs were going off on the ground from all of the power lines coming down, and it was thunder snow at the same time. So it was literally just fireworks all night long.
Now that same storm hit New Hampshire, where I was living at the time, and we had 3 feet of snow in one night. And I opened my front door, and all I saw was a white imprint of my door. I couldn't get out. I had to crawl out a window. So, but they had the roads open, and we could go to town within about 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, I actually had power the next day, but this is the one where I told you my neighbor literally across the hall in the same building was on a different feed, and his was out for 2 weeks. So we ran an extension cord across the hall to give him some power. It was, yeah. So their time, you could have loaned him your generator, and everybody would have been happy.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I got plenty of power. In fact, I got so much power that I run an extension cord over to my neighbor's house.
The good news is I only go into work on Thursday, so if it snows that bad on Friday, I'll just be sitting at home watching it snow.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'd be nice.
They're predicting snow possible here Friday night on my mountain.
Yep.
But Tennessee, just about 40 miles north of here, they're supposed to get some snow too. So, Teresa, do you do any storm chasing there? As follow tornadoes, or carry that Doppler radar truck out there and check it out?
No, not yet. At least not down here. I've done a little bit of storm chasing when I was living up in North Texas. I had a friend that she was a classmate of mine, and we went out together a couple of times. She knew the lay of the land a little bit better, and so she'd know the easiest and quickest ways to get from point A to point B, and I'd watch the radar and help navigate from that end, and that was fun and interesting.
I always try and keep to the side or behind the tornado, but one day one decided to chase me. Normally they go northeast or east, and this one decided to veer southeast where I was, headed right at me, and it lifted up right when about a half mile before it was about to hit me. It lifted up and went right over me.
Ooh,
I got pelted with thousands of pieces of hail.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you got to kind of know the area, Bill. You were probably near a trailer park.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know,
I have a theory. On that.
Yeah.
A tornado will produce a 55 megahertz signal.
Yeah.
And in the early days with analog TVs, you could tune to channel 13 and dim it till it was just dark, tune to channel 2, and if it was bright white, you had a tornado heading at you. And I figure that the length of a standard single wide trailer is probably some multiple wavelength on 6 meters. And that's why they're attracted.
Yeah.
It's like a half wave, and they're multiple half wave, and it's heading right for that resonance.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Nope. The last time I decided to be out in severe weather, it was the last time. That was when the tornado hit the Hickory Ridge Mall here. I was driving home, and I knew the weather was going to get bad, so I had timed my day to get home early. Well, I got hung up and I was 3 hours late, and then I got hung up in traffic. And the tornado that hit Hickory Ridge Mall, which is probably about 10 miles northeast of me, I saw it in my rear view mirror, and then I saw another one about 5-6 miles in front of me as it crossed the road. And I said, you know what? Somebody else can be out driving. The next time they even mention severe weather, I'm not driving on 3 days either side of it.
Now, Glenn, are you sure that you saw a tornado in your rearview mirror? Are you sure that wasn't exhaust coming out your old car?
No. It may have been something coming out, but it definitely was not from the car. No, I saw the wall cloud and everything coming behind me.
Yeah.
And no, I was like, I was literally about ready to push the car in front of me.
What year was it that they had that?
F5.
What year was it that they had the tornado out in Xenia? Do you remember? 81, 82?
Oh, that was 1970. 1972 or 3. It it went right over my dormitory in Ohio State. And I went to that town shortly afterwards, and it looked like a bulldozer had gone right through the center of the town. There'd be one house in perfect shape, and the next one was flattened right next to it.
Yeah.
But I saw the funnel cloud hopper across Ohio right over my dorm, but I think it's 1973.
1974, Xenia. That comes
There's
from
also a
that comes
small
from
one in
WD8IOL.
Yeah, I just looked that up on the internet. And there's a small one in 89, but the big one was in 74.
They had one up there a few, 3 or 4 years ago, right after we moved to Xenia. They had another one up there. It didn't hit the fairgrounds there, but it hit somewhere around.
What was that? 3 years ago?
Yeah, I think about
Something
3
like
years
that.
ago.
Yeah.
Because that was the year that I got to go to Dayton,
Yeah,
and
They had one
We'd been
hit
home a
for
week
Arena
and-
too.
I think it hit near Beaver Creek or somewhere up in that area. Yeah,
yeah,
I think it hit the day after we left.
Yeah, they
We
had
left on
one hit
Sunday.
for Arena.
We left on Sunday, and I think
Yeah.
that tornado hit that Sunday there in Beaver Creek. That was about 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what finished off the Hara Arena, like Bill said.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was already on its way out, so it didn't take much to finish it
No.
off.
I thought maybe they'd collect insurance on it, man, and rebuild it.
You probably could have kicked one side of the building and it would have come down.
Hey, I loved the Hara Arena, man. Even when it was bad, I liked it, man.
I didn't get to go to my first Hara Arena until like 2014. I'd heard
Really?
about it all those years, and
Yeah.
finally, went. And it's one of those, you either love it or you hate it, but you can grow to love it. And I could never figure my way around that place until I finally, the second year I figured out, I'm like, hey, the drapes behind everybody's booth are color coded.
Yeah.
Place is color coded by zones. Once I figured out what color I was looking for, I was able to find all the shortcuts and know where I was.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the outside too was,
Some of those conference rooms were so loud, you couldn't hear anything when you were in the conference or giving a talk because the crowd noise was so loud from the adjacent forums and just the general buzz of the ham benching.
Yeah.
Some
It
of those
was
rooms were better than others.
Hey, we had Mike. Is Mike here? Mike, you join us? Ooper.
He's muted.
The Ooper up in Ooperville.
You're muted.
Well, we have a big storm chasing thing with the Severe Weather Institute here, Teresa. We've got
There we go.
There he is.
On my way.
He kicked Bill out just so he could talk.
Hey, Mike, you got any snow up there?
Yeah, you guys talk about your tornadoes. You can keep them. We get the simple stuff like 2 to 3 foot snowstorms in a weekend. That we keep it to the simple stuff.
I will never
Well-
forget one year in Minneapolis. They had one of those blizzards come through, and I was, they let us all out of class early, and I was headed to the airport. That stuff was like beach sand. I don't know how you can do anything in it. The road was covered in beach sand.
Yeah, we just had one a week ago. I think a week or week and a half ago, a week before last, we had, I think they put down 2.5, 3 feet of snow over the weekend. It's nothing to panic
Man,
about.
when does it stop snowing up there? About August?
Yeah, it'll melt off by then. It'll stop in the middle of July.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then it
man.
will start again in September.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I'll tell you, we up here in the UP, we don't get the hurricanes, we don't get the earthquakes, we don't get the tornadoes, we don't get the flooding.
Yeah, now I grew up in Miami, and you worry about hurricanes, but you could plan for them. You had the even back in the old days where all you had was the TV and the radio, every hurricane season with the newspaper would print a map and would stick that up on the wall and put pins on it with every, broadcast, and, things of that nature. But I moved up here and was introduced to tornadoes. And I have never been more scared in my life than the first tornado warning that came through, because you have no idea. You don't know where it's going. You don't know what it's going to hit. You don't know when. You don't know how many, how big. You can't plan for it.
Yeah, well, I've never seen a snowstorm wipe out or devastate a town, tear it apart. Like you'll see with the tornadoes, it'll rip through and just tear up a whole town and businesses and everything. But snowstorm, we have some roofs cave in because there's too much weight of snow on the roof or stuff like that. But devastate a town with a snowstorm.
Yeah, but Mike, look, Mike, we do have Mike, we do have tornadoes, but they're only so wide. But we have those terrible snowstorms where we get that inch, maybe a half inch. That shuts. Let me tell you, that shuts the entire town down. Not a tornado.
Go into panic mode.
Oh, we don't even need an inch of snow. We get a threat of
tornado.
ice,
A tornado may be only a mile wide, but man, you get an inch of snow. You get an inch of snow, and the whole city's out.
Now, 3 snowflakes and the town is closed.
That's right. Hey, when I was in the Air Force,
and all the bread and milk gone.
Yeah, all bread and milk gone.
Yep.
When I was in the Air Force out in Altus, Oklahoma, we had a lot of tornadoes out there. One night we had 17 tornadoes one night, and they made an announcement on the radio that they were turning the sirens off to let them cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's enough for me to just take a shovel.
I was chasing a tornado in 2011. It was an F5 that knocked down all the transmission towers from the nuclear plant. Missed the nuclear plant by a few hundred feet, fortunately.
Yeah,
the fact that it knocked down all those transmission towers, our power was out for the entire northern Alabama for 8 days before they could rig it back up.
Oh, that's fast.
And when I saw that tornado, I was chasing it. It was wall to wall from one horizon to the other. It was at least a mile wide, just a big wedge tornado. I turned around and said, "I'm not chasing that one." And where I was standing,
what shut us down
leveled all the houses.
Wasn't snow; it was freezing rain. We got rain on Saturday. And that just wiped. It came down and everything froze, and everything was sheet of ice. That did.
Yeah, that's what we get. We get more ice. It really hurts us down here. In fact, when was it, Glen? Was it like 94 that we had a big ice storm, and it took down, like Bill, it took down all those big high tension metal power transmission lines, and there was people, I mean, they didn't get that stuff replaced for like a month or two.
I don't mind driving through a snowstorm and that, but you can take that ice.
Yeah, no, I think I was still in Birmingham at the time, and that's when we got that 12 inches of snow in Birmingham that year. You got the ice.
The ice was bad.
Well, this one we had a couple of weeks ago wasn't a whole lot of fun. My neighbor ended up with at least, if you count all the limbs, he had at least 2 pine trees on the ground in his backyard.
Hey, Glenn, you mentioned a lightning detector project you're working on for your Arduino.
He's got one. He's got one in a book.
That's in that first book.
Yeah, but I'm updating it.
Ooh.
I was just wondering if you were updating it. I think you mentioned you had new sensors come in for lightning detection.
Yes. I've switched away from the Embedded Adventures one and gone more mainstream. I got a pair off of eBay that are coming, and they're generics. They all use the same chip, that AS3935. And then I bought a pair from SparkFun, and I'm going to be doing the project to use any or all of those detectors. Why? What you got in mind?
I thought it would be timely since there's lightning all around me right now. I thought it would be timely to build something like that.
Oh, I was going to say, I can mail you the one I got.
How long does it how far away can it detect lightning?
40 kilometers, which is 24 point something miles.
That'll give you plenty of warning.
It will tell you the distance to the leading edge of the storm, and how strong the lightning is. And it's just a number scale, but it'll tell you how strong the lightning is and how far away it is. It doesn't give you a direction or anything, but it's
If
all.
if you had more than one of them spaced out,
Well,
say a
then you
mile
could
apart,
then you could triangulate based on distance.
that would be a good little project.
Yeah, tie them together over the internet. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's all done in that little chip. It's got a digital signal processor that you really can't fool it with an electric drill or anything. It's looking for that 500 kilohertz signature of the lightning. If you've ever listened to lightning on your AM radio, it's not just a big burst of static. You can hear a pattern in that static. You can hear the buildup, you can hear the crash, and then you can hear the fade down. And they have determined what that signature is, and the detector has a little, 500 kilohertz bar antenna. It's got one of the, remember the old AM transistor radios that had those ferrite bar antennas? It's got a micro version of that on it, and it's literally nothing more than a 500 kilohertz AM receiver or a 500 kilohertz receiver that's tuned to look for that signature.
Very cool.
It's very cool. And
All right, if anybody else wants to join us, I posted a Zoom link. Just come on in and join us on Zoom. We'll be glad to have you. You're listening to and watching possibly the After the Show. This is
Show.
Amateur Radio Roundtable. The After the Show. The first hour is ham radio. The second hour is snowstorms, tornadoes, and
lightning.
And lightning tonight. That's the subjects tonight. So please join us. Well, Bill, man, I was thinking, if I had a balloon here, the tracker built up, and 108 passes overhead, I might do another launch. I might do another launch to try to hook up with him, dock with him.
Looks like it's heading for here again. It looks like in a couple of days it's on its way, heading for San Diego. But I think the prediction shows it's coming right over Tennessee and Alabama.
well, didn't the ant say something that they were going to take some time off at Disneyland?
Yeah,
Well,
there you go.
HabHub shows it going across Baja, California.
Right.
And I don't know if it's going to get up high enough for us or not. Actually, it's probably going to go under us. Although I don't know. Take a look here. You can see what.
There's a couple different options there.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a pretty solid path prediction there. It's not spread out like most of
Looks
them.
like we'll probably go right a little under it there. Actually, right there.
Well, they got to stop in Tijuana.
Yeah, I think we're going to miss it, but that would still be pretty close to launch to if it came through right under it here.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Now, Bill, HabHub is saying when it quit moving or when we quit transmitting tonight when we went to sleep, HabHub was saying, let's see what HabHub says here. HabHub was saying it would be in Baja. Let's see where well, first of all, their prediction goes way back. Their prediction goes way back, but right there was hour 30. And then if you go to Baja, hour 41. So it's saying we're 11 hours from Baja. And if you come on over to Memphis, that was
I'm showing 311 0600 UTC for Memphis area.
4150. It's saying from Baja to Memphis 12 hours. Can it make it that fast?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're about 2.5 days away from completing your first lap.
Impressive.
Well, right now we're showing 40 hours Baja minus, let's see, minus 20. We're showing about 1 day. Yeah, we're showing 30. We're showing only 10 hours to Baja and 12 hours to Memphis.
Yeah.
That's all we're showing on here.
Hey, Tom, there's a question in the chat room of how does it predict, and is that prediction generally accurate?
Yeah, it's very accurate.
Accurate.
You can see how I don't know what happened right here. The ants messed something up right there.
Well, that's when they were taking their little Hawaii.
I think they went back to Hawaii or something right there. They went back to get Huey, I think. They
were faking you that they went past it, but the prediction actually showed that they did go to
I actually think Huey and Dewey left without Louis. I don't know. One of them didn't show up, and they had to go back and get him. To tell you the truth, but
He's
yeah,
had too much fun. Why?
Yeah.
but you can see, yeah, it's just like Bill. Can you tell us anything about this? This is NOAA, right? This is their high split model.
It's called NOAA Ready High Split, and it's a prediction program that they developed from NOAA to study wind dispersion for, like, say, volcanoes, or where the
Well, and this reminds me of the models that show. This reminds me of the models they show when we have hurricanes. You
these
see the
wind models are very accurate.
Yeah.
They use all the model data. That it's a very powerful program, and our students here at UAH have been flying several Pico balloons that have actually been used to improve their algorithms on that website. One of the students was an intern at NOAA as a result of his balloon project.
That's just too cool.
Well, in case we got anybody new on here and wants to track the balloon, just go to. Let's see if I can get it on here. Let's see. I think I can adjust it here. Maybe. Just go. There we go.
Yokohama Balloon, is that a division of the Yokohama Tire company?
I think it is. I don't know. Yeah, if you'll just go to hamtv.com. Yeah, hamtv.com, or you can go to w5kub.com, either one. And this is our tracking page. You click on balloon at the top up here. If you click on balloon at the top, let's go to home. This is what our page looks like. This is our new page. We've tried to do some upgrading on our page this past month. A little different format. And if you click on, if you just click on balloon up at the top menu, that will take us to the balloon tracking page. And on the balloon tracking page, I made it real simple for you. You've got a link here. You can join our Facebook group. You can, if you click here, you can follow it on APRS. If you click here, you can follow it on HabHub. If you want to see the Whisper data, you can click here. Let me click there. You'll see the Whisper data right there. It's coming in. If you go, okay, there's a counter. We've been up 8 hours. 8 days, 11 hours, 56 minutes. This will tell us how many laps we're on. These are some neat links we've got here. There's Ventusky, and there's windy.com. The neat thing about these, if you click on these, let me show you what it does for you. Let me click here. And this is Ventusky. And if you look at it, here's a world map, and you can see the winds. Now, I want to do this. I want to let's see what I want to do here. Okay, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to set the, let me set it where you can see the whole thing here. So you don't miss out on anything here. All right, now on Ventusky, I'm going to set the we know our altitude right now is about 12,000 meters or whatever. So I'm going to set it at 12,000 meters right here. So this is our altitude, right, that we're flying right now. And we can move the map around. Let's move it over here where we get, there we go. And I don't know what's going on here, but I don't see my colors. In fact, my map looks even different. I don't know what's going on here.
It looks like you've got it showing temperature instead of wind speed.
That's
there,
probably,
Tom.
let's see, that probably is temperature. Oh, there we go, there we go. Let me come over here and check this. Let's do wind speed. There we go. Thank you so much. There we go. Now, right now, we are about right here where I've got the mouse. And it says the winds are 100 miles an hour right there. And that wind, that jet stream is taking us right across Baja, California. It's going to take us up into the U.S. Let me zoom in a little. You can see the winds a little bit better. It's going to take us across southern U.S. and I zoom back down here, across the Pacific, across the Atlantic. Again, a good solid 100 miles an hour all the way. We'll go across Africa again. We slowed, well, it's 100 miles an hour there across Africa. We'll take a dip here. Let's see. I don't like that dip there, Bill. There's a dip there in India. It kind of goes down. Maybe we won't go that. We'll probably go over the northern of India. Go across China at 113 miles an hour. And look at here. We're back to the Pacific where the speeds are 150, 160 miles, 175 miles an hour. Look at that. So that's a good one there to click on if you want to look at the speeds there. Windy is also another good one. This link here called windy.com. You click on that, it's going to give you very similar information. And you'll just have to, here you set the altitude. Right now we're at surface. Let's see. Let's see if we can do this. All right, so I'm going to move the surface up to, let's see, let's go 12. There's about 13,000 meters. And then we're going to click on wind here. I think we're on wind right now. Let's scroll back out. And we'll go over here to where we are. Things are looking a little funny here. I don't know why. But we're somewhere in here. You click on it, it says 63 miles an hour. You click there, we're at 85 miles an hour. If you get up in the white and the yellow, going across the United States, 114 miles an hour, 120. So that's called windy.com. If you come on down on our website, I've got an embedded map here. This is a HabHub embedded map right here. It's going to show you the position of the balloon, where it is on HabHub. Here's a video of the launch. And you can come on down. There's a little description of what we're trying to do. And here's some pictures there's a past flight we did right there where we went around about 3.5 times. There's a picture of the tracker in my hand. And so that's about it. That's it. I set that up to make it easy for people. A lot of people don't understand much about all the different aspects of tracking. But if you just go to hamtv.com and you can click on balloon, and that'll take you to our tracking page right there. So, all right.
Hey, Tom, let me show this real quick.
All right.
If it'll
What do you got
switch
there?
over to me.
What is
There we
it?
go.
Let's see.
That is the lightning detector chip.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look on the other side over here, that vertical piece
That's-
of white is a sticker on top of that little ferrite antenna I was talking
I was going to say that looks like the antenna.
But that's the actual board, and aside from the antenna and the chip, there's just 5 or 6 resistors and a cap or two surface mounted to the board, and that's the whole module right there. And you can see it's about the size of a quarter.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
A tiny little thing. And that's the one from SparkFun.
All right, join us
I'm not
on.
gonna lie, Glenn.
Join us.
Do what?
Go ahead, Tom.
I just posted a link again if anybody wants to join us. We got about another 10 minutes that we'll be on tonight.
What was that you were saying, Teresa?
I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie to you, Glenn. The time that Tom had you on, and you were talking about your first book, and you were talking about that lightning detector deal, that's what made me buy that book.
Oh,
Yep. I went, oh, that looks like fun. That sounds like fun. That's what I want to do.
that's been my personal favorite, but there have been some others through the years that have really, been my. It's always been the lightning detector, but the CW keyboard was always kind of fun because my CWs, well,
I built the CW keyboard. I built the CW decoder. Let's see what else.
Yeah. But my CW sending is often followed by a lot of 4-letter words. And so with the CW keyboard, I actually worked the Florida QSO party. I worked CW on the QSO party. And I had a blast.
Hey, Glenn,
Yes, sir.
what is that lightning detector send? Is it a serial or I2C or just hands with the detecting or a pulse for the connect? How does it tell you what it's doing, what it's seeing?
It's on the I2C bus or I2C bus and SPI. You can select which of the two. And the first one I did
And it
was
sends to detect how many kilometers or
it
23.
sends you
it sends a message.
the library actually extracts all of that information for you. And it also has an interrupt line, so it can, flag you when there's new data, and then you can go out and poll it and get the data, and then the library will extract that into variables for you. Very, very easy to use. And like I say, this time, the first one I did it with the I2C bus, and this time around I've decided to go with the SPI since that's what everybody seems to be settling on. And I've chosen to use all three, the Embedded Adventures, the SparkFun, and the generic eBay sensors. So you'll have your whichever sensor you get, you can make it work. So however you want to get your sensors. So like I say, this time around, I'm finishing that project up. It's actually going to have an output that will drive a relay that can disconnect your antennas and stuff.
Hey, you could put a little voice module in there where when it gets real close, it can say, "Take cover, take cover."
Yeah, take cover, dig your foxhole now.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Ducking for
Glad you mentioned that. Let me go get something else.
While you're getting it, that brings me to something I want to do, Glenn. I think it's out there already. The voice on your GPS unit, the lady or whoever it is, that talks. A lot of times I don't like to follow her instructions. I turn before she says or whatever, and she says, you're going the wrong way or something like that. I'd like to change the voice where it just gets really mad at you, like, "Hey, stupid!
Hey, you idiot!
Hey, idiot! You idiot! You're going the wrong way!" What would it take to put a voice like that into my GPS?
Actually, about 10 years ago, TomTom had a celebrity series of voices.
Oh, really?
And you could select Mr. T as
your
navigator for your GPS. Hey, you fool! Anyway, this is something that I got not long ago. It's Audeme. So I'm assuming that's Audime, unless it's French, and then it's Audeme. And it is a Kickstarter project that has come to fruition. You can see this is the first time it's left the wrapper. Get this thing out without bending pins. And you can see that it's an Arduino shield.
Yeah.
This is a speech recognition board. I don't know the full specs on it. All I know is that when I saw it, I knew I had to have one. That's how I judge what I'm going to.
Hey, there are so many boards out there that do everything, man.
Yeah, but this one is a speech recognition shield that will work with the Uno. And so
Glenn, I purchased things on SparkFun in that cool, I gotta have it. And for a while there, I was in the top 500 purchases on SparkFun. On the same premise.
Yeah. And I saw this, and I have the other speech recognition, I forget what the name of it is, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But then when I saw this, it was like, it's also a speech synthesizer, so this one does both.
It'll talk.
This one listens and talks. So
can you program it? Can you program it where it would talk to itself and listen to itself, and
I'm sure you could
maybe get it hung in a loop?
Yeah, get it in a parrot mode.
Yeah.
Well, they had those parrots they had to separate because they learned to speak like sailors. And they were teaching each other.
They had a row of those parrots in Walmart one year, and I started one going because the time they parrot back, they shifted the frequency so it started out low, and then it would go beep, 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 and I got a bunch of them in each other, a horrible wreck. One of the Walmart employees had to come running to see what was going on in the toy section.
Oh, yeah.
And they got into an endless loop.
Oh, I love doing that with the Furbies, if you remember those when those first came out.
Oh, yeah. I got one.
But the most fun I ever had is I put one in a box and mailed the box.
A friend of mine had a website with all the hacks and the fur people shut them down, I think. But they had all kinds of hacking. And a friend of mine had 100 of them in a chorus. And you remember those Billy Bass fish?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see those? A friend of mine put several of them in the back, and he reprogrammed them to be his backup chorus for when he was singing and performing at a club. He had a Billy Bass choir, and he had them all coordinated. And I think he used Arduinos to coordinate them all.
Oh, that's too cool.
That is awesome.
And do you remember the E button from Staples?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they actually
You hit
duplicated
the
that.
button and it says that was easy.
Yeah.
A friend of mine hacked.
Oh, there he goes again.
No,
Some more.
I think we lost him. He burnt the internet out. We're gonna have to get him. This will be a good time for me to make an announcement here. We got about 4 minutes till sign off, and I want to say thanks to everybody out there listening on Shortwave on WBCQ. We're glad you're listening to us on Shortwave, and if you want to join our show, we're on every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on W5KUB.com. Just you got a computer there, go to W5KUB.com Tuesday night at 9 p.m. That would be 9 p.m. That would be 0100 UTC Wednesday. 0100 UTC Wednesday. is our live show. And I know there's some people in England and Germany and even Iraq and places like that are actually tuned in and watching the show every week. So we're glad to have you. Thanks for joining us on Amateur Radio Roundtable. The last hour you've been listening to after the show, and we just have fun and we talk about anything and everything. The first hour of the show is about ham radio. So thank you. Hit the subscribe button and send us an email. What was that?
ARRL put an easy button on my second book.
Did they? An easy button. All right, there you go.
You can see it right there.
All right, very good. Get Glen's book.
Oh, you can't find that one.
All right.
You have to get the third book or wait for the next one to come out. Or get them both.
Well, guys, it's my Friday night. Once the show's over, it's like Friday night for me. Tomorrow is Saturday for me.
Oh, Bill's got a Furby.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those things.
I think I still have mine somewhere.
Anyway, my friend, a friend of mine, program is easy button to say that was a lot harder than.
I can't hardly understand Bill. He sounds like R2D2.
Yeah, he's chopping up pretty bad.
We're gonna have to get him better internet.
Mine's been dropping off. This is the 20th time it dropped off.
Yeah. Well,
bad internet.
Well, look on the internet. Go to YouTube, and there are all kinds of little things where people say, "Build this. This is the most powerful antenna you can build." I don't know if you've seen those or not, but they're ridiculous. What people do, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's a little thing. It could never work. It could never work, and he shows you the signal's 100 times stronger than than when he started. So go out there and build you one of those YouTube increase your internet signal. In fact, you can even build one and get it free.
Well, we could all just take up a fund and get Bill to move.
I think we ought to put a dish there up on Bill's Hill and aim it at McDonald's. McDonald's can't be more than 20 miles away.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be
So you're
good.
getting ready to shut the show, and I'm going to have to call it a night here.
All right, man. Well, hey,
Here's
thanks
11 o'clock for me.
thanks for joining us tonight. We're glad we had you.
Yeah. So I'm going to say 73. We'll see what next Tuesday night brings.
73.
You
We'll
see me here?
we'll
I'm
see.
here. If you don't hear from me, I'm not here.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll be here if the creek don't rise.
Good night, all 73.
All right.
KEW.
73. We'll see you. All right, guys. It's 10 o'clock. Good night to everybody out there. Enjoyed having you. All right. Well, that's another show out of the way.
Yep.
I'm getting hungry. Ready to get something to
Thinking
eat.
about it.
Getting something to eat, man.
Trying to lose weight though.
Well, yeah.
Too hard to screwed up on my diet in Orlando and trying to get back on it. I had too much fun down there.
Yeah.
So.
I'll tell you, Dayton's coming up soon. Before you know it,
I know it.
We're getting March, April, May.
I am so glad I'm flying this year. I was, looking at the price of gas, and could you imagine what the gas is going to cost driving this year? My airline ticket's going to be cheaper.
I'm not going to. I don't think I want to buy any gas this year. I think I'll just go and buy me an electric car. That way, it won't cost me nothing to drive up here. See.
Yeah, there you go.
I can just drive up there with no gas, drive back home.
Using that government logic there.
Yeah,
You spend $100,000 to save $1,000.
What I'll do, I'll get me one of those little solar cells like you see people lay up in on their dash and they plug it in a cigarette lighter. I'll keep my car charged up with that.
Yeah,
that'll
work.
take about a year for every.
Yeah, I just charge it. With that. I mean, I might could go a couple 100 yards.
Yeah, we'll see you in Dayton in about 5 years.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I was looking at the price of gas and stuff, and I'm like, it normally takes me 2.5 tanks to get to Dayton and back. 5 tanks worth of gas. That's
$500.
probably going to be about $350, $400 for me. And
Yeah.
I think that's what I paid
Yeah.
for my airline ticket. So I got lucky this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those airline tickets are going to go up too.
Well, that's why I'm glad I got mine in the bank. It's
Well, but hey, maybe by then there'll be electric airplanes and you won't have to worry, Glenn.
well,
They,
why don't they just use the rubber bands and have some guy wind them up really, really tight before we leave?
it'll be a Flintstones car.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw a Facebook post, and it showed a picture of this Amish fellow, and he says, "Meet your new Uber driver."
Uber driver, yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
They'll be the only ones that'll be able to take you.
Yeah. Oh, it's getting crazy. That's why I'm so thankful I'm only going to work 2 days a week and I only have to drive across town. I used to drive 3,000 miles a month. And, gosh, I can't imagine doing that now.
Wow. Yeah.
Because, they're talking, I saw it today, it was like 369 over here. And because
It's $4.29 here. It's over $6 in Los Angeles.
Well, see, we've got refineries right here in Memphis, and so I guess that's what's keeping our prices down. But even if it keeps going up, and it's $5-6 a gallon,
I heard. This is from a government source. They're planning to water down our gas. It's going to be, how they were using ethanol.
Yeah.
They're going to start using water. It's going to be 80% gas, 20% water.
Gas and water don't work well together.
Well, I'm just telling you what the government is thinking about doing. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's going to work well. I didn't say it's going to work well. I said that's just their plan.
Ethanol becomes cost effective from corn at about $4 a gallon and above. So they'll probably bring in a lot more ethanol.
Yeah.
In Brazil are like 90% ethanol.
Well, but it takes a lot of fertilizer to grow the corn, and now I hear that the fertilizer is doubled in price, and you might not even get it.
You better buy a horse and a buggy, and then you got your fertilizer.
Mark says they're pushing 15% blend of ethanol now.
I've got 2 horses that I could just hook up to a wagon.
Yeah.
So I'm set. Get me one of those little red wagons and, a couple of harnesses and off we go. Just a couple cans of cat food.
All right, guys. Good night. I'm getting out of here.
All right.
See you later.
Night, Tom. Night,
Good night, everybody. Thanks to everybody joining us. Thanks for joining us on Zoom and being with us tonight. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for everybody being with us. We couldn't do the show without you. Thanks for staying for the after the show. This is probably, after the show probably is more exciting at times than Amateur Radio Roundtable. We can really talk about some neat stuff here.
We get some good stuff from time to time.
Yeah.
All right.
Good night, everybody. 73. Good night. I'm gone.
Bye.